I'm Edie Lush, and I'm here at the Hub Pavilion in Davos, delighted to be joined now by Peter Lacy, Managing Director for Sustainability Services at Accenture, and you're responsible for Europe, the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. I got it all.
You did, you got it all.
Now tell me, you are responsible for one of the world's largest study of CEOs with regards to sustainability. Came out a few months ago. Can you tell me some of the key findings there?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the study was a study that we did for the United Nations with the UN Global Compact. And as you say, it was the world's largest to date, 766 CEOs, 25 industries, 100 countries. And one of the key findings was that 93% of those CEOs felt that sustainability was going to be important or very important to the future success of their business. And that's changed dramatically since the last study in 2007, up nearly 20%. So we're really seeing, I think, at the beginnings of a sea shift and the real embeddedness within the minds of CEOs that this matters. But I think one of the things that we also heard, and another finding, was that the big challenge for CEOs is no longer recognizing the issues. So climate change on the environment side, it's human rights on the social side. They recognize the issues. The big challenge is how do they embed that in their organization? So how do they shift from issues to strategy to execution to results?
So Accenture is obviously involved in some of this business, exactly, and you are particularly. So what are you seeing in particular in terms of businesses, what they're actually doing to move towards a more sustainable business?
Well, I think one of the clear findings from the study, but also to your point from my client work and from the work that we do supporting clients to achieve high performance on sustainability, is that there is a growing trend towards seeing sustainability not just as a risk or as a cost to the business, but actually increasingly as a growth and innovation opportunity.
So if you could give one example of one company that you've worked with, can name names or
Sure.
not, as you like.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to give you an example. I think a good example would be Vodafone. Vodafone is a great example of a business that we worked with them to map out in a public report which we published called Carbon Connections, the new product and service opportunities for growth and innovation, which puts wireless telecommunications at the heart of things like smart grids, smart meters, changes in the way we think about transport systems. And what was really interesting from that study commissioned by Vodafone was that it's clear that in Europe alone, in the 25 countries in Europe, we can drive solutions that will reduce emissions by 113 million tonnes by 2020, which would be about 2–2.5% of the EU's overall target. So it's substantive. But what that also does is it drives disruption in the marketplace for telecommunications because it requires 1 billion new machine-to-machine connections, which is something that, if you get that right, is a real source of competitive advantage. If you get that wrong, as we see sustainability trends become more material, you could end up on the losing side of some of these global shifts.
As you know, it's Climate Deal Day here at Hub Culture. We're delighted to have you here as part of that. Can you tell me a little bit about how you see companies working together in terms of gaining some of these sustainability advantages?
Well, I think your point gets to the heart of a lot of the discussion in Davos this week and the discussions I've already been having, which is around collaboration. And I think I see 3 different forms of collaboration taking place. Firstly, there's collaboration in clusters. So actually we're seeing, for example, new technologies, innovations coming out of universities, coming out of some of these research institutes, working with some of the larger companies to scale those in areas like clean energy, in areas like smart urbanization and transport systems. The second type of collaboration is actually at the industry level. So in many cases, in order to drive sustainability forward, what we see is the need to create a level playing field, common standards, industry self-regulation to some extent on some of these issues. We saw that in the telecommunications sector. And so sectors and industry leaders are coming together to level that playing field. And then I think the third thing is that we're seeing increasingly governments collaborating with business to make sure that there's the right enabling policy context so that actually sustainability is rewarded with market incentives.
Peter, thanks very much for coming along to Hub Culture here in Davos, and I'm Edie Lush.